sent, Renae. You just have to accept that. And how are you guys?
Good, Ben.
Good, thank you.
Good to have you on. You seem to have created a lot of interest with it's early in the morning here, and we've got a serious amount of questions for you.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Due to where we are in the world and everything else, there may just be a little bit of a delay. So we'll try our hardest to work with that. So, guys, for you that do know and those that don't, we've got Renae and Sox with us this morning. I was thinking of how to write it when I did the post, and the easiest way is they're just probably the power couple of the shooting world. We're not going to go through all of the accolades that they've got between them because we'll be here till tomorrow. But I think the big ones are Renae's been world champion 3 times, 2 different disciplines. Sox has broke numerous records. He's a serious competitor in the fit ass world. He's got 2 4th places at the World Fit Ass, national sporting titles. But also you've got a serious record in the DTL. Both of you have got serious records in the DTL, which I knew a little bit about. But when I received the accolade list, I was like, yeah, we'll get to the bottom of it in a minute. the bottom's got to come. So, look, there's going to be loads of questions, and hopefully we can get through most of these. But how I'm going to break it down, I've got a page for Sox, I've got a page for Renae, and a page in the middle for both of you. But we're just going to try and interact and get some questions from you. So, Renae, to start with yourself. You come from a serious shooting family, you know.
Yeah, no, all my family shoot. So my brother, Damien, which has been a World Fit Test champion in 2009 and runner-up in, what year was that, 2006? I think in America.
Yeah.
My mum and dad, you know, who Dad and I kind of look after. So, yeah, no, we've got shooting in the family. That's for sure.
I mean, you were lucky enough to win and compete in the same Australian ladies team as your mum, weren't you?
Yeah. In 2004, my mum and I were part of the Australian ladies team that won a gold medal. So I don't know too many people that have ever had their mum or their father win a gold medal with them. So it's very special.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive. But what if we take it back again? Sox, you won gold in the men's team alongside Damien.
Oh, yeah. Brother-in-laws count, do they?
We're not married yet, so he's not your brother-in-law.
Yeah, that was quite memorable because we hadn't won a medal up until that point. That was in Belgium.
Yeah, it was Belgium. I ended up. I think I was runner-up, and I remember the party in the big field afterwards with all of you in your green blazer. I've actually got the picture still. It was.
Yeah, it was unbelievable actually because we'd come close to sort of getting a bronze a couple of times, and you know it was quite unexpected. We were not well placed with 1 day to go, and then I don't know why, but everybody shot lights out on the last day. And I think at the time it was a record for, a total score for the 4-man team on the last day. So it's across the line and quite memorable.
It's quite impressive, isn't it? Because everyone thinks of Australia as such a big place, but as a sporting clays fraternity, it's not that big.
It's not big as far as numbers are concerned, but I just think we're really good amateurs. You know, there's no professionals in this. You know, over here we don't have private clubs. So everything's done voluntarily, and that probably holds us back a fair bit. And plus the distance, trying to get to the big shoots is a huge disadvantage, but we make the most of it. And like I said, I believe we've got the best amateur shooters in the world.
Yeah, I think I've wrote all this down. I've got like the distance you have to travel. It's a serious commitment. But you've had a ladies' world title, you've had an overall world title, you've had team gold. That's far more than some of the substantial shooting nations.
Yeah, I don't know. We sort of drive. Everyone sort of drives everyone along. Especially down here in Victoria, where sort of the shooting sort of revolves. I don't want to put down the other states, but obviously Damien's the exception, being in Brisbane and a couple of others. But in Victoria, we sort of push everybody along every week. You sort of try and get a bit of a feel of how you're going before a big shoot. We're lucky enough to be able to do that at a club shoot down here, but it is what it is.
Probably just got the core of the competition shooters in Australia live in Victoria, so we're quite lucky that
it's the same in America. They all seem to congregate around Houston area now.
And we've got some great shots in other states, but just the core. I suppose the core, mass shooters are probably definitely from Victoria.
So let's get into some of your individual careers. Now, obviously, I've known you both personally for a long time, so I do know some of the good and some of the bad. We're going to touch on both, unfortunately. Renae, it must have been a dream to become World Ladies Champion. Yeah,
it was. It's something I've always wanted to do, and obviously when Damien won in 2009, that was probably the first time that I went, it's possible. As we talked about us being we're an amateur nation, I suppose. When Damien won in 2009, it kind of made me think, it's actually possible to do it.
It's doable, yeah.
And I kind of always wanted to get mum and dad another world champion in the family. They've taken us around shooting since we were kids, and it was almost something I wanted to do as a bit of a tribute to them.
Yeah, definitely understand that.
Yeah, it probably was a sigh of relief. I came close once before.
Well, that's the next. Unfortunately, that's the next
great.
Unfortunately,
so for me, it was correct. But it was a relief to definitely win in 2018 for sure.
Right. Well, let's just get it out the way. So 2012.
Right.
You went into the last day. I don't know if you knew the scores. Obviously, I was looking. You were flying. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, you never closed that one out.
No. I'll probably go down in history as the only person leading a world championship in the last day by 7, losing by 1. But, look, at that particular point, I probably wasn't experienced enough to handle the pressures of going into the last day leading. In 2012, I actually didn't know how many targets I was in front.
Right.
Which, looking back in history, I wish I did, because
the pressure would have come off.
Yeah,
to be fair, they were the 2 hardest layouts as well.
Yeah, I kind of drew some pretty tough layouts to finish on the last day, and I wasn't really aware of what kind of nerves would do to me, and I just shot very nervous and tried to protect the score of it rather than going out and trying to shoot one. So there were many things that went wrong that day.
But did that set you up for 2018? Did it make you stronger when that chance came again?
Yeah, 100%. Look, in Chicago, I shot 2 17s on the last day, and I can really say the wheels kind of came unstuck on peg 1. I remember missing a pretty simple pair, and I double-barreled every single double-barrel on the first station of the last day. And I wasn't really aware of how nervous I was at the time. And the harder I tried, the worse it got. And going into the last day in France, unfortunately, I drew a pretty tough ground. I think it was what was the name of that ground? It was like the game ball layout or something, the one that everyone was talking about.
Down the big track where you shot off the berm on peg 3.
That's it. Well, I drew that course first round of the last day, so once again, it was almost feeling like a little bit of a repeat of Chicago. I knew that one was coming, and I went out and shot a 17 again on the, and all I could think of was, why not a 16 or an 18? 17 is just an unlucky number for me. But look, I was 3 targets ahead going into that last day, and I took a bit of a long walk back to the clubhouse. And, I had a bit of a long talk with myself and just said, look, if you'd shot a 20, would you be happy? And, the answer is obviously yeah.
That's pretty much what they've given you with your 3 target lead.
Exactly. And, I think had I not experienced what I did in Chicago with the kind of mental thinking, I walked out and went, you know what, it's done. You've shot 20, you're back to scratch, and go and shoot your last round, as best as you can, and what will be. So, yeah, I think had I not experienced what I did in Chicago, I probably was not going to be prepared for France. So.
I mean, I've been doing this, as you guys have, for such a long time, and I don't think anybody does it on their first go. I've never seen anybody. I've seen bigger collapses than the one you had, and they come back to win them.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody.
Yeah.
You think you can be a great shot, and I said this on another Fit Ass interview, and I think Sox, you and I spoke about it when we shot together. The first day is nothing; it doesn't count. The second day is a bit of a put some effort in. The third day is moving day, and the fourth day you cannot be prepared for until you've been there and had it dumped on you, because we've all had it.
Up until that point, Renae hadn't finished in the top 6, and that was always a goal. So all of a sudden now she's leading. And by a fair way, it would have been very hard to cope with that, because I'm sure in hindsight you would have been really happy to finish on the podium, but because it was so close, to lose by 1 target, that's tough to take.
Yeah, I agree.
But look, I actually had some really good advice that day. I remember George Digweed coming up to me saying that. If you don't lose a lesson of today, then, you've actually won. Because you can't actually learn what you've learnt today unless you go through it.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
Advice I was given.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Look, Sox, you're a serious competitor in your own right. I've shot with you at World Championships, 2 4th places at the World Fit Ass. They don't come by accident. You've got to put the work in. How do you two cope with the pressure of shooting, but the pressure of worrying? Because you can't not. You're trying to shoot 25 over here, but you've got to, in the back of your mind, it's got to be, I want Renae to shoot 25 over here to win the title.
Well, I remember Chicago vividly on the last day that, it really didn't bother me what I shot that day.
That's what
I was asking everybody who came past, okay, have you seen Renae? What has she shot? And it was just a terrible feeling that you couldn't help. But I couldn't get any information either.
That must be
no one knew.
That must be something that you've closed the gap on now, because you win, Renae wins. You've learned to deal with that, haven't you? How did that? How did those 2 parallels become aligned?
So I reckon that's an easy answer. Is that we're actually trying to beat each other. So really, we don't really care what each other's doing at the time, because I really want to beat him, and he doesn't want me to finish in front. That's the real answer.
Especially the last 4 or 5 years. Ever since Chicago, Renae, her game's just gone to another level mentally as well. Actually, I've got to be on my game to beat her. I can't have a bad day and still beat her.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. And, I'll be honest, I think with Renae getting to that next level, it's kept me going. I'm still in there competitively because I know that, when we go to a club shoot, she's trying to beat me. If we go to a state title or national, she's trying to beat me. At the world, she's trying to beat me.
Do you feel that now, by proving herself, it sort of freed your mind to say, she's, this Renae's one of the best in the world. She can stand alone now. I can go do me.
No, I've never really worried about it that to that level. She's a seasoned competitor now, and a lot of wins in Australia. So at the world titles, it's just sometimes when you want something really bad, it's hard to achieve, because you just get in your own way. And that obviously that was Chicago, but it came a little bit too early. I think if Renae gets in that position now, she's going to be hard to.
Yeah, just close it out, 100%.
Yeah.
But I think, when you're running your thing anyway, when you're shooting your 50, there's no room to be thinking about anything else. Like, by the time you get in and you run your program and, you're thinking about your 50 targets, you really don't have room to be thinking, about anyone else, to be honest.
That last day in Chicago, he was all worried about Renae. Well, I had my best game that last day because
you were somewhere else.
I wasn't worrying about myself.
Yeah.
Just mine wasn't there, no pressure, and
Talking of being a competitive couple, let's go and talk about the Western Australia title where you had a shoot off.
Where'd you get that from? Who's giving you that?
Let's. Who wants to start?
Well, go Renae.
Nope.
Well, I'll give you some background to that. I won the 2 previous years, so I was going for 3 in a row in Western Australia, which in DTL, like, people can't understand it. Like, the sporting shooters can't understand why I do it, but I actually love it because sporting has taught me how to shoot, but DTL has taught me how to win.
Right.
I don't know how to explain that properly, but there's a lot more competition in DTL and a lot more opportunities to go to big shoots and things like that, which we don't have with sporting. So it was a big thing for me. I'll be honest, I was trying to win. I never handed that one to Renae. She beat me fair and square. We got into a shoot-off with a young guy named Husthwaite from WA, who's a really good shot over there. And so it was a 3-way shoot.
Hold on, dude. We've lost sound. We've lost your sound. We can't hear you. The sound's gone. There you go. You're back now.
All right.
Okay. Like I said, Josh Flay was also in that shoot-off, a pretty good shot, a local boy over there. I did everything. I did everything right. I dropped 1 point, but Renae didn't miss. Dropped 1. And hit everything in the middle just to rub it in. There wasn't a lucky win. And the whole crowd that was there, everyone, I can tell you now, no one was wanted me or Josh to win. Everyone wanted Renae to win.
That's why I do like to get a bit of background because like I said, I was really excited about this one because it's so different to everything else that we've done. But so Renae won that one, but then I know that in 2016 Sox, you won the national sporting title, which was a big deal to you.
Was a big deal. It was memorable. Ed Sullivan's had come out and he'd come out and I actually shot with him and Matthew Livers, who I tied with. In the end, Matthew shot a phenomenal last day and we ended up tying. A few years prior to that, I tied with Matt for second and third at the Nationals, and he absolutely flogged me. So I had that in the back of my mind that he's going to be a tough competitor in the shoot-off. But I don't know, all the planets aligned that time, and it's just my turn, I suppose.
Gaz Adams has said a huge bar tab followed.
Yeah. We put some money on we put a fair bit of money on the bar, and dinner that night. We had dinner at the Payne's place, who you know.
Yeah. It was not a cheap.
It was
whatever prize he won, it was gone and then some.
but it's just like I said, it was something that I've always wanted to achieve, and to do it, when I was 50. To be ended up being the eldest
competitor to win a national title. So it's probably a record I don't want. But anyway,
we can't rewind the time.
No.
So being serious competitors, it's led you into a huge business venture. So let's go there for a minute. Renae, if you just don't mind typing your website address, and I can pin it so people can have a look at the bottom.
Okay.
Sox, you just start us off. How do you lead into the business venture?
I've been in the industry a hell of a long time now. Probably 30 plus years now. But I've been in retail for what was a pretty large shop back then. Representing Winchester for 6.5 years. Running Rio subsidiary for 3 years, and then went out on my own in 2007 and got to meet Bill Krieghoff in 2009 at Warrnambool for the world titles, and the rest is history. Krieghoff wasn't really very well represented in Australia at the time. I think they were averaging 3 to 5 guns a year for the last 10 years before that. And I can honestly tell you we do a lot more than that. Everyone's pretty happy with our results over here, and there's a lot of guys now shooting Krieghoffs.
So what products do you? You've got a nice selection behind you there. What products do you bring in?
We're the Australian importers for Krieghoff and for Antonio Zolli competition shotguns.
Yeah.
We share Pillar eyewear with a guy up in Queensland, and Extreme Chokes, a few other little bits and pieces, but hull cartridges as well.
Yeah.
Probably got bit off a bit too much because it's only just me and Renae. Everyone thinks
there's a big outfit.
How well we're represented with shooters around the country. They think that we're a huge staff, and it's a big business, but we work pretty hard, do long hours, and if we're not shooting, we're working. So
there's a So for the crowd watching, I've pinned the comment there. Take a look at it after the show there. www.clayandhunt.com.au. That'll take you to have a look at what they do there. So out of the you're both shooting Krieghoffs now. Out of the Krieghoff range, what configurations did you both go for?
So I shoot a 30-inch parkour with boarding, and I shoot a step tape with 30-inch for trap.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I shot the parkours not because I thought it felt better or anything like that. I was happy with a flat taper 32-inch fish chokes, but when the parkours was released, I thought, I better shoot one to promote it and get it out there so people were asking about it. And from day one, I shot it pretty well and added a couple of barrel weights to it, and
results speak.
You should shoot a pro trapper trap.
I shoot a pro trapper trap. I shoot flat paper at speed. In our position, we've got the luxury of shooting all the different all the range. But I'd be happy to go back to a flat tape at 32-inch tomorrow if I wanted to, but if it ain't broke.
So I did put a couple of feelers out there to try and get some background information away from shooting, and luckily Damien was awake and he was forthcoming, and so were a few others. So let's talk about I've spoke to you about this Sox already when I shot with you, dude. I've never seen a person carry so many cartridges and they have to be different colours.
Yeah.
It's a bad habit, and I'll be honest, I'm the first one to tell people that you only need one cartridge, but I don't do that. I'm the complete opposite. I reckon I could shoot a round of 25 with 10 different shells.
You honestly have a pocket full of skill.
I don't know if you'll be able to see this because I think it will be in reverse. But Robbie Hall sent me a message this morning, and he put, "Sox is the only bloke I know who can shoot a round of FITAS, shoot 25, and not use the same shell twice."
He's got that thing from a guy named Rod Lately, who I used to work at Winchester with. He came up with that. So, yeah.
So,
well, that's. No, that's not quite right. I've probably had 4 cartridges with me.
And they got. What's the colour situation? They can't be the same colour if they're a different shot size.
Well, that's why I shoot sovereigns. They're all different.
We also got a late message come in that says that Sox supports the worst team in the AFL called Carlton.
No, I'm not a Collingwood supporter, I'm a Carlton supporter.
He said he's an avid supporter, loyal to a fault to the team that always finishes bottom.
I also support Liverpool, and they're on top.
Not when they cancel the season. The whole season goes to waste. That'll be a devastation for everybody.
They better not. This year, I've watched every game. Like at 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I've watched every single one, and now this happens.
Damien was actually very pleasant about you, Renae. 2 nice things. One of them was quite weird. He said you actually had like a pet kangaroo as a kid.
Yeah, that's true. Her name was Sugar.
Sugar the kangaroo. And he actually said you're a fantastic cook or chef and you make the best paella he's ever tasted.
That's true.
He's only ever had mine, so he's biased. No, yeah. Yeah, I do like to cook. Actually, when I left school, I actually wanted to be a chef. And I then realised very quickly that chefs work on weekends and that would interfere with shooting. So I kind of gave that one away. But yeah,
it was amazing. Out of all the people that I spoke to this morning, everyone was so pleasant and nice about the pair of you and complimentary, which is nice to see. I just hope nobody ever interviews me because nobody would reply. So we'll move on from there. Both of you want to talk about your super squad. Renae as a lady and Sox as the male competitor. I'm going to get into the relationship between the two shortly. Who would you want, if you could go back in time, pick anybody from any era, who would you want to shoot with? You've got 5 choices each.
Wow. You can start.
No, I'm thinking about it.
As in a female super squad or?
Yeah, yours the female first.
Female. 5 is too hard.
Let's
so I'd have 20. Obviously, if I looked at, I suppose the current out there, Beatrice, Ina, Rebecca, Cheryl, Desi, there's too many. There's too many to pick there. Some of the greats, I'd probably Anthea. Yep. My mum. Back in her prime. Cherie Nielsen, a few of our local girls. Look, there's too many to pick. There's lots of Katie Brown.
Yep.
Too many to choose.
Sox.
I'd like to exclude all the people that I've shot with. So
Yep.
Guys like, I've never had a chance to shoot with George. Mark Windsor.
Yep.
He'd definitely be in there. Richard Fords, never shot with him. Been lucky enough to shoot with a lot of the Americans. I tell you what, I'll make an exception to that rule about not including anyone I've shot with. Bill Maguire, I'd always have him in the squad.
Gentleman of a gun.
If you look up the word gentleman in any dictionary, there's going to be a big picture of Bill in there.
Yeah, a legend. A brilliant guy.
So I shot with him in Hungary. It was memorable. Shen Havart, I've shot with him. I'd like to do that. But I've never shot with Andreas from Hungary.
Yeah.
I reckon that would be great.
Yeah, he's good to follow too because he's got such a nice, steady style.
Yeah.
He's great to follow.
Yeah, but he's pretty laid back. When Renae shot with him last year, you know, I was in a similar wave, and we kept running into each other, and he was really supportive of Renae, and I just think he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy and a good shot too. With your style, Sox, is quite unique. We spoke about this. You're probably the only shooter that I've ever seen do it and do it superbly well. You've got the trap shooter's elbow in a fit-ass mount, and it was something when I shot with you that I've never seen before. But you were certainly. I've shot with all of the greats, and a lot of them can mistime that mount. Your mount was absolutely perfect, if that makes sense. You hit that pocket every single time. Now, I don't know any other shooter that mixes DTL and FITAS. What do you think the benefits that you carry from one of the disciplines to the other?
I think sporting helps me with DTL more than DTL helps me with sporting.
Okay. I would have thought that would be the other way around, so that's interesting.
Yeah, my strength in DTL is a couple of the what used to be considered like novelty events when I first started, like double rise and handicap shooting. So when you're further back, they were my strengths, and shooting those two disciplines really well helped me win quite a few high guns because you get a bit of a jump on everybody. But you can't do it anymore. Everyone's sort of learned how to shoot those two disciplines now, and DTL's become very, very hard to win now.
On that same front, Renae, and I think it's a common theme with all of the top ladies now. Is your mindset to just win outright and the ladies is a second base, or do you go there with only the ladies in mind? What's the mindset?
Yeah, I think initially when I started shooting, obviously it was to win the ladies was the goal, but it's definitely when I go to a shoot, I think if you cap yourself to just win the lady, then you're not really going to reach your full potential. So when I go out to shoot, it's to really hit as many targets as possible and to beat Sox. So I think if you go out there and you say to yourself, well, you know, I want to hit more than anyone, you're obviously going to shoot really well, and you know, you might win the ladies, you might not. So I kind of don't go out there to go, well, I've got to do this. It's to hit as many targets as you possibly can, and the result will follow, you know.
I think over the past, if you went over the past 10 years with probably before that a bit with Kate, then yourself, Ina, Rebecca, Beatrice, Cheryl, the standard in the ladies has just gone through the roof.
Yeah.
There's definitely been, I know Anthea was one on her own. I think she finished 10th overall at the World FITAS when I first began, but there's definitely been a substantial jump in the ladies. What do you? Yeah. Is that just simply because there's more of you, or what's caused that?
Look, I think there's obviously a greater depth. I mean, you go to the World FITAS now, and to win the lady, you've got to be shooting 22 and above. Yeah. Which is huge on the World FITAS stage. It's not that easy to do, particularly on some of the grounds that are thrown. I think it's a combination. You know, obviously the standard lifts, you've got to go to a different level. And to me, when I compete in Australia, I try to be, you know, as close to the men as I possibly can to prepare me for the World FITAS stage. You know, you really can't have too much of a bad day in the ladies at the World Speed Test anymore. You can't get around with a sloppy score. You've really got to be on something for 4 days, and it's a marathon.
It is. I agree, but when you look at them, the scores now are simply incredible. I think there was a point. Hold on, we just lost signal.
Sorry.
There's been a couple of times, I think yourself included, where the last day you come down the open list and there's ladies in the mix now.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember Cheryl Hall's performance in Minnesota one year. She was way right up there. She got a massive 48 the year that she won in Hungary.
Yeah.
Like she shot a 48, like that was
I think
ridiculous.
she might have even shot a 49. It was massive that day.
Rebecca's score, in the last 3 years, she's had days there that you go, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they're starting to really put it together, and one day one of them's going to do it for 4 days. And we might see something special one day.
But I think that's happening across all the categories. Like, to me, the level doesn't matter if you're looking at the ladies, the juniors, the veterans, the seniors. It's all, the level's rising. It's everyone wants to win.
Yeah, there's definitely a serious increase in scores worldwide. We can't hide from that. I love it. What people want to know, and the questions are coming in. What everybody wants to know: what methods you both go to, what choke tubes you both shoot, and we'll get into the mental game shortly. But so, do you both shoot the same chokes? Do you change chokes? Are you fixed chokes? How do you run? What do you run in your competitions?
I used to have chokes. I've shot fixed chokes now since I think 2011. Half and three quarter. Never found wanting. I don't have any inclination of going to chokes any day soon. More than happy with half and three quarter.
Renae?
Yep, I shoot extreme chokes through my parkour. I shoot half three quarter. I have chokes I never change.
Yeah.
Half three quarter for me is.
I know. I shoot Bridie chokes, but those extreme chokes, they're serious. They're some superb pieces of equipment right there.
Yeah, I use them for DTL.
Yeah,
so,
they are serious.
Yep.
And the kills that people get with them things, I think they're a superb piece of equipment. What's the go-to methods then? What do we shoot? How do we shoot sporting clays, FITAS? What are the go-to methods?
I shoot a combination of methods. I mean, I think in FITAS you've got to have a mixed bag. You've got to be able to shoot multiple methods depending on the target.
Yeah.
My core methods, so what I grew up, I suppose what I was taught to shoot was sustained lead. But I shoot a multiple methods. So I'll shoot pull away on a few birds, I'll shoot swing through, and I'll shoot sustain. So I think it's got to be what works for you, because I've grown up my whole life shooting that method. That's what I'm continuing to do these days. And it works for me.
I think all the top shooters, whether they admit it or not, or whether they're prepared to say it or not, definitely shoot every method.
Yeah.
They might have their favourite, but you can't shoot every target that way. Like I shoot, if I've got a choice, I'll shoot maintain lead. Because that's how it started. That's too hard to sort of to go to any other method. But I think it's a pretty safe method. It's easy to learn. But has it cost me a few times on certain targets? Like I believe it does, because I would love to shoot a long fast crosser like Bill McGuire, like in Hungary.
Chop it up. Just hold out there and let it run into it.
Yeah.
And I think our target style in Australia, over the years, because we've kind of grown up shooting some very long, fast, stuff with a lot of spring. So we've all kind of grown up shooting maintain lead, but it's all changing now. There's lots of people shooting different methods. So
I think
it goes back.
That's important. Of all the places I've shot in the world, Australia's probably throw the hardest targets.
Yeah.
You know, when I was teaching out at Brisbane Gun Club there, they like, right, we'll walk down to the practice layout, and they show the bird, and you're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, and then we make them a bit harder for the competition. You're like, why? why would you? It's like, Jesus Christ.
Look, I think that's actually slightly changed over the last few years. We definitely have been known to throw some pretty serious bird. But, you know, obviously going overseas and competing, a lot of people have brought back their ideas and gone, look, the world just ain't throwing what we're throwing.
Yeah.
We need to, it's not the long birds we can't hit. It's, you know, we need to wind it back and concentrate on being able to build big force.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we've done.
When I shot with Sox, I mean, I don't think one bird outside 40 yards you missed.
Yes, I did. I remember Italy rather well. Remember they had the extreme targets?
Yeah. But not all of them were extreme, were they?
Yeah, well, I remember after day 3, I went back to the Krieghoff tent because we all sort of used that as a bit of a base, and I bumped into Mark Windsor, and he basically having a bit of a chat, and he goes, "Well, how are you travelling?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sitting on 141. A little bit disappointed with a few birds, but you know." I said, "How about yourself?" And he said, "He's on 146. And I said, "Well, that's really good shooting." Well, after talking to him, we found out that we had been to the exact same layout. So we'd shot all 6 layouts the same. The only difference was, you know, with the extreme birds, he was 6 from 6 and I was 1 from 6.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think he shot a lot the next day.
Yeah, he did. He did get 8. Yeah, he got all 8.
Yeah, I managed to shoot both on the last day, but you know, like it's those birds killed me, and you were in my squad, and you weren't really happy with the way you were shooting, but I don't think you were that far behind Mark in the
no. But what was quite interesting was that Derek that won it, I think he only had like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I only hit 1 extreme bird, and I didn't know it was an extreme bird when I hit it.
It's interesting though that Derek won that shoot by hitting everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mind the concept. If they brought that back, I didn't mind it.
Well, it was in Hungary, wasn't it? It was in Hungary also.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
The one off that the ticket bird off that tower layout, that was definitely extreme. I didn't even think the shot goes that far. That was seriously out of range, that thing. When Andras shot 25 on that, you're like, oh my God. Do you think so you guys probably put more travel into a world championship over 10 years than anybody. You know, do you think, I was interested writing the questions, do you think that helps or hinders? Do you think that, you know, I've got to put this much effort in, every bird's got to count, or do you sometimes, Christ, I wish it was just 3 hours away?
Yeah, we wish that for sure. It's not just the travel, Ben. It's you know, we're smack bang in the middle of our winter.
Yeah.
And
so you're out of season.
Yeah. 2 days later, we're in the middle of someone's summer. You know, I think that's the part that I don't really like. You know, like apart from the, you know, the lose, you know, a day out of your life getting there and a day out of your life coming back. The other thing is that we'd like to go to all your big shoots, you know, the Europeans and the world, you know, English sporting, and you know, we'd like to go to all of this, but we just can't.
So, talking about that, Renae, you've actually won the ICTSF World Sporting twice as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Yep. Once in New Zealand and in England in Kelmarsh.
But that's not something you shoot a lot of down there, is it?
No, we don't. Yeah, we mainly shoot FITAS sporting in Australia. We are trying to get the organisation to throw a lot more English sporting. I believe, you know, we both believe that's a discipline that will really teach you how to shoot. But Australia doesn't seem to like to throw a lot of it, but we're getting better. So yeah, in Kelmarsh, that was just, we actually went to shoot in Hungary and went and stayed with Ed Pullman for a week and shot Kelmarsh on the side. So it bit of
Because
fun.
I think it's safe to say you're pretty much one of the only fittest nations that's successful. You know, you look at Andras and you look at Christoph Ray and you look at Bastian. They struggle when they switch across to doubles only. You know, they seriously struggle.
That's surprising. Yeah, I can understand it. If you don't do it all the time, that's why the Americans and you guys are so strong at it. You know, because that's your bread and butter. But yeah, I'm surprised.
I think with Fitas, you can pretty much do anything and break it. When you've got to do it 4 times, 5 times, you've got to know exactly how you did it to do it again.
Yeah. And that's why, you know, Renae and I honestly believe that's the way to go for us in Australia. But I can't see that happening anytime soon. There'll be some huge barriers. People, you know, they're not happy with losing the safety net of the second shot at it.
Yeah. How's compact going down there? Is that taking off?
No.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Over here, I think it's our future.
They're trying to get it off the ground, but I think a lot of effort's got to get into it before that's going to take off. We just don't have enough venues.
Yeah.
We don't have enough clubs that throw it.
I think it's going to take over here because
we hold the compact nationals every year, but there's no other lead-up shoots for it. So until that happens, it's never going to take off.
Yeah. Renae, what's Damien up to?
He's, I don't know, you're digging some holes somewhere up in northern Queensland.
This is for the audience. I actually know what he's up to. I was speaking to him this morning.
He works. He normally works 2 weeks on, 1 week off, but with COVID-19, he's been stationed up in Weepeth. I think till November they've got him up there, unless it gets wound back sooner. So. He basically is on a machine all day, and I think of a nighttime fishes, and that's about it.
How big for Australian shooting was Damien's win?
Huge. Yeah, absolutely huge. I think, until then on a world stage, I mean, the closest I think we got was Peter Tobin placed, was it 4th? 5th. That was as close as we probably got externally, and you to a 4th, sorry.
I like that. Johnny was my runner-up in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So Johnny had our best result leading up to then, but it wasn't just Damien. Michael Diamond and Russell Mark put Australian shooting on the map.
We've had both those on.
Definitely Damien and John Younger have put the sporting shooters on the map, but as far as shotgun shooters are concerned, I remember when those 2 guys won in Atlanta in 1996. That sort of, to me, basically said, you can come to Australia and you can mix it with the best.
Superb. So the last bit's always the same. Mental game. People want to understand pre-shot routines. We touched on it at the beginning when you turned the loss into a positive, and 6 years later you turned it into a win. How do you occupy your mind through a shoot? What are your pre-shot routines? What do you think about? How can you help people with that?
Pre-shot routine for me, I like to keep things really simple, Ben. I think if you overanalyze things, you get, you just get in your own way. I think the most important thing for shooting is your gun hole. Where you're actually going to start addressing the target. And the other thing I say to people is, try and be aggressive. Try not to miss doesn't work. You've got to hit the target. You've got to shoot a score and not protect the score. And I think if you have that mindset more than anything, that'll go a lot further forward than you trying to make sure that you've got the right chokes and the right goals.
Yeah. Because you do shoot quick, don't you? You are aggressive. Yes, you are.
I know that when I shoot well, I am, and Renae will tell me, Renae says, if I start dropping off a bit, she goes, you do all your best shooting when you're aggressive, and it's true. But
you don't shoot careful well. That's
for sure.
What about your mental game, Renae? How do your mental game? Obviously, we know it's strong because you don't become 3 times world champion without having a strong mental game, and obviously, a loss helped you create that. How do you determine what, like, if you say you turned a 17 into a 20 mentally, you had the mental mindset to go to there. What else helps you mentally to become a winner?
Look, for me, I do keep it fairly simple. To always think positive. You can't go in there feeling something. If you go in there and look at a target and go, geez, I don't know what to do on that, or it's really hard, you're on the back foot right away. So for me, I have a bit of a routine where a couple of shooters before me, I'll have a look at the targets, see where I can, first pick up where the target's going to come out, choose where I'm going to shoot it and how, and then when I get into the stand, I don't think about anything else. It's basically let your program run. And obviously if things haven't gone to plan, then you've got to, readjust it in the stand. But if you're doing all of that right, thinking about your gun hold and where you're going to shoot your bird, there's not much room in your head for anything else if you're doing that.
Yeah. I think that's great advice for everybody watching as well. What you're trying to do is just recreate what you've trained, isn't it? You're trying to keep fear comes from the unknown. If you've got knowledge of how to break targets, you can let that go. It's when you go in there and let the fear factor get in the way.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me is just not to have a target that worries you. If you go out to the course and you see a particular presentation and you go, gee, it's one of them again, that's something you've got to get out of your game. You need to know exactly. There shouldn't be a target out there that worries you. If it doesn't, you get out there and you're positive.
Make it right.
Yeah.
Sox, there's a question coming there for you from John there. Is it difficult to be aggressive yet still stay smooth and controlled?
No. I think you can. Those things can work together. When I say aggressive, that just means shooting the target in the right spot rather than letting it run.
I think that's the key. So you're not shooting quickly for the sake of shooting quickly.
Yeah, correct. Fast is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yeah. A couple of questions came in before we started. So, just say, for instance, it's day one. It's day one of the World Fit Ass Championships. One of you has a great day. One of you has a bad day. What's the mood like in the way home?
I'll probably start with a beer back in the tent.
Yeah. we'll hit the beers regardless. That's an Aussie thing. So I know when Renae won in France, we didn't do anything different. We went out with a few friends, the Barrowmans from Sydney, every night, and just did our normal thing.
Look, you can't. I mean, if you have a bad start or a bad day or a bad round, it's done. You sit there and worry about it and you carry it on. We're about to have 3 bad days in a row. For me, I suppose because we travel so far to compete, and it's one time a year that we get an opportunity to shoot like this, there is no bad day. Any day shooting overseas is a blessing. So for me, getting back and talking to everybody at the end of each day, discussing the shoot, whether you've had a good one or not, the atmosphere is fantastic. So. Yeah.
hardest thing for us is we get back home. It's a massive leap. And like the shoots, the atmosphere. Yeah.
Call it post-Europe depression. We get back. Yeah.
We're going to run out of time shortly. Last question there. Look, Renae, you've said you're also successful in the ISSF disciplines, and somebody's asked you there, when is Renae coming back to Olympic skeet?
Who was that?
Trent Bowden. Trent Bowden.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't say I was successful in it. I only got an opportunity to shoot it for about half a year. So last year I defended my World Championship title, and I really gave that a shot up until July. I concentrated purely on sporting. And then the last 6 months of the year, chase ISSF. Yeah, look, I really enjoyed it. Obviously, ISSF, if you want to be good at it, you've got to put quite a few rounds through. It's a very specific way of shooting. It's actually quite opposite to the way I shoot sporting. So you've really got to be prepared to go backwards, to go forwards in that event. I think with this whole COVID-19's put a bit of a spin on things. I think the first thing I'll be doing is getting back to shooting feet tasks as soon as I possibly can when we're allowed to do. But yeah, look, given that the Olympic cycle, we've got an Olympics next year. I've got, quite a few years up my sleeve now, and I'm not sure whether I'll be shooting ISSF skeet in the next 12 months.
Superb. Well, we've only got 60 seconds left before it cuts us off, so thank you both for your time. I know it's later in the evening there. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for shooting worldwide. You've both become big icons of the sport worldwide. I'm sure there's far more titles to come in for. Like I said, we know there's more titles to come. The list will be going on and on and on. So thanks for giving up your time. Stay safe during these